When I was in 5th grade, our family moved to a new house. This new house was a fantastic place for 3 boys to live out adventures. In the front was a big leafy bush which sat in between our house and the neighbor's house. One could ring the doorbell, either ours or our neighbor's, and dash behind the bush and peer through the tendrils to see the person answer the door. She'd open the door to find no one there, which was hilarious to us. We'd wait a few minutes, and sometimes we'd do it again, and it was just as funny as the first time. Another part of the house that was cool was our attic. In the summer, the attic heated to unbearable temperatures. We would crawl inside, shut the door, and begin sweltering immediately. The test was twofold: to see how far we could go in. The further you went in, the longer it took to get out. And also, secondly, to see how long we could last. Beads of sweat turned to streams. Salt seeped into our mouths and into our eyes. Our adolescent armpits emitted adolescent armpit odors. We were in Saudi Arabia, or maybe the Sahara Desert, conquering the elements, becoming men. But actually, the best part of the house was the basement. It was partially finished with a concrete floor and was framed out with wooden studs. Someday it would be civilized. Someday drywall would be attached to the beams, then sealed, then painted with some safe housewife color like beige or cream. Someday neutral carpet would be laid down, oak furniture placed on top, maybe a fake plant or two. But not yet. For now, it would be our fort. We outfitted our fort with the necessary equipment. Who knows how long we might be stopped up inside while wild animals and foreign forces attacked us. We needed to be prepared. We needed to last several days if needed. So we brought in Twinkies and Stratego. We brought in changes of clothes. We brought in pillows and blankets. And we brought in a toilet. Proper waste disposal, that was important. How many societies fell because of poor waste disposal. But no, we would not be overcome by our poo. So we found a spare toilet seat and plopped it on top of an empty wastebasket. It wasn't called a wastebasket for nothing. We placed a roll of paper beside it. Then one of us used it. One of us squatted down on top of the makeshift toilet, cheeks to seat, and disposed our waste. Guess what? It worked. We were so proud of ourselves. Look at what us boys can do. We raced upstairs to tell our mom, "You have to see what we made downstairs." We led her by the hand and showed her the fort and the equipment and the supplies. "Wow," she said, "you thought of everything." This proved our ingenuity, our sheer survivalness. Our voices deepened and facial hair started to grow instantly, I think. Then she sniffed, and asked what that smell was. We had not showed her the toilet because we were saving the best for last. "Well," one of us said, dragging out for the big unveiling, "we made a toilet!" At that moment, we hoisted the toilet to face level for her to see. Aren't you proud of us? Some of us flaunt our good deeds as if they make us better people, but all along, sin is stinking up the place. Isaiah 64:6 says, "All our righteous acts are like filthy rags." This is a different way of thinking about our good deeds, isn't it? Usually, we regard our good deeds pretty highly. Usually, we like people to notice them. Usually, we think we gain something in the end. We imagine God as an accountant, marking down our debts, our debits and credits, adding, subtracting, balancing the books. He records our righteous acts, the times we help old ladies across the street, hold our tongue from slander, or donate to worthwhile causes, and then he rewards us accordingly. We don't perform these acts to get the reward, but we do think they should count for something. Well, think again. The literal interpretation of filthy rags in this verse, writes Francis Chan, is menstrual garments. Think used tampons. What do you think of your righteous deeds now? I don't mean to be gross, but according to God, Our good deeds are like used tampons. So whichever image is more potent to you, the tampon or the bucket of poo, go with that. When we expect our good deeds to cover our sin, when we approach God with our bag of gold to cover our debt, all he sees is a smelly mess. It must be quite a turnoff. I'm not saying we should stop helping elderly ladies cross the street, keeping our tongues from harm, or donating to worthy causes. It's just that these good deeds don't cancel our sin, don't cover our stink. Life is not a balance sheet with debits and credits. The more credits do not win. Not all nice people go to heaven. Not all the people we love go to heaven. One day, I opened the kitchen cabinet to find green marker scribbled on the inside of the cabinet. I called to our daughter Asia, who was 4. "Asia, please come here." Soon she toddled in, her short blonde hair wisping as she walked. Her dimples pressed into her roomy cheeks. "Yes, Daddy?" she asked. I knelt beside her and pointed to the scribbles. If you blurred your eyes, the lines and doodles formed Asia in a 4-year-old kind of way. She was evidently trying to write her name. Ah, how cute, I thought. No, wait, this behavior is inappropriate. Follow through, Dad. I stiffened and cleared my throat. Asia, do you know who did this? She squinted her pretty hazel eyes and folded her forehead like she was concentrating really hard. Then she said, "Ginger." "You think it was Ginger?" "Yeah, Ginger." Clever girl. Ginger was our cat. Normally saying the cat did it wouldn't have been impressive, but our cat, Ginger, had a pair of thumbs. Not human thumbs, cat thumbs. Thumbs would be useful in drawing on cabinets. Asia knew this. Ginger was born with a genetic mutation that gave her extra toes on her front paws. Another name for a cat like her is a Hemingway cat, named for writer Ernest Hemingway, who apparently loved these kinds of cats and was such a good writer because he also had thumbs. Yes, clever, clever girl. When Asia blamed the cat, I immediately pictured little Ginger grasping the green marker in her paws, her thumbs stabilizing the implement as she sketched out Asia. I almost laughed out loud. But then it hit me, Asia was lying to me. No, it couldn't be, my sweet, precious Asia. Say it's not true, O flesh of my flesh. Put a receding hairline, acne scars, and a fatty chin on her, and she's me. How could she lie to me? Well, recently I overheard 2 people talking about their New Year's resolutions. One of them said this year she'd like to be a better person. "And how will you do that?" the other asked. "I'll try not to make fun of people as much," she answered, "but it's going to be hard." The prayer of confession reminds us that we need help.